All right, let's dive into this one. This is The Little Prince by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry.
Oh, yeah.
It's a classic, right? Children's novella.
It is.
But it's one of those that it's deceptively simple.
Yes.
There are so many insights about life and love and loss that it stays with you.
It does. It does. And it all starts with a dedication
Right.
to a grown man, Leon Worth, when he was a little boy.
Interesting.
Powerful reminder that we were all children once.
When you think about it like that,
Yeah.
that's kind of what Saint-Exupéry is trying to get us to do, right? To remember that.
Exactly.
And then we meet the narrator,
Yeah.
who's a pilot, and we get this immediate kind of juxtaposition of, childhood imagination and how most adults see the world.
Well, that story about the boa constrictor drawing.
Oh, yeah.
The narrator's so proud of his masterpiece.
He thinks it's amazing.
But all the grown-ups see is a hat.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. But it's also kind of heartbreaking. They just can't grasp it.
They can't see beyond the surface.
Right.
It's like they've lost that childlike
Exactly.
curiosity.
Yeah.
And it's not just a one-time thing either.
Huh?
He keeps that drawing,
Yes.
drawing number one,
Yeah.
and he uses it
To test.
almost to test every grown-up he meets.
Searching for someone
Yeah.
who still understands that language of imagination.
Yeah. And nobody passes the test.
Nobody.
And so I guess in a way,
Yeah.
that disillusionment
Yeah.
leads him to become a pilot,
It does.
which is a profession that allows him to escape
Yeah.
the confines of the everyday world, right?
Absolutely.
No more bridge, golf, politics, and neckties.
Mm-hmm.
He's up in the air.
Yeah, perfect metaphor for
Yeah.
yearning for something more
Yeah,
that a lot of us feel.
totally. And that search takes him straight into the Sahara Desert when his plane crashes.
Wow.
Talk about isolation.
Yeah.
1,000 miles from civilization,
Oh, man.
facing death.
Yeah.
And then out of the silence and the sand,
Yeah.
this tiny little prince appears
That's right.
with the most unexpected request.
Draw me a sheet.
Oh, draw me a sheet.
Yeah, and it's such a jarring arrival
Yes,
that it really disrupts the narrator's despair.
absolutely.
I mean, he's ready to give up.
Yeah.
And then suddenly there's this little kid.
Yeah, this little jolt of magic.
Yes.
And the way that he rejects the narrator's
Yeah.
initial attempts to
Exactly.
draw a sheep.
That's right.
I mean, right away you realize
Right.
this little prince sees the world
Yes.
through a totally different lens.
And he wants a specific sheep.
Yeah,
It has to be perfect.
he does.
Asteroid B612,
Asteroid B612.
which we learn is only the size of a house.
Yeah, can you imagine living on a
Basically.
planet that small?
And not only that, but a planet that small with the constant threat of baobabs
Oh, the baobabs, yeah.
taking over.
They're not just some whimsical plant.
No, they're a threat, capable of splitting the prince's planet apart if he doesn't pull them up.
Yeah, he calls it a question of discipline.
He does. But think about it. What are the baobabs in our own lives? You know?
That's deep. Like negative thoughts,
Yeah,
bad habits,
that's right.
societal issues even?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like,
Those things that can consume us
yeah,
if we don't
if we don't take care of them.
nip them in the bud.
And it's interesting how Saint-Exupéry, he kind of weaves in that commentary
It is.
about the way we perceive the world.
Yeah.
Remember how a Turkish astronomer
Yes.
was the one who initially discovered B612?
That's right.
But nobody believed him
Yeah.
because of his traditional clothing.
It's like people only accept knowledge or discoveries
right.
that fit their preconceived notions.
Yeah, like a subtle reminder to always question assumptions and be open to different
And
perspectives.
absolutely. Now on this tiny planet with its looming threat of baobabs
Yeah.
lives the little prince's equally demanding Rose.
Oh, the rose.
Yeah.
She's a complex character.
Beautiful,
Yeah.
delicate flower.
Yeah, delicate, but with a personality.
Yeah, a personality that could
Yeah.
rival a tempest.
So, I mean, she's a total contradiction.
She is.
On one hand,
Yeah.
she's vain, she's needy,
Mm-hmm.
she's constantly complaining.
Tigers and giraffes.
Tigers and
Like
giraffes
they don't exist on their planet.
which don't exist on their planet.
But on the other hand, you can just sense this genuine affection
You can,
for the prince
yes.
and regret when he leaves.
And the prince, being so young, he doesn't get it.
Yeah, he gets caught up in her words,
Yeah,
missing the deeper message behind them.
right.
And it's not until later
Yeah,
that he realizes he should have judged by
Right.
deeds and not by words.
that's a lesson we could all learn from. Right. How often do we get hung up on what people say
All the time.
instead of paying attention to
That's-
what they do?
Yeah, look beyond the surface
Yeah.
to see the intentions.
Just like the boa constrictor and the hat.
That's right.
And so that brings us to the little prince's decision to leave his planet,
Yes.
to journey out into the wider universe.
Yeah, he's seeking adventure.
Yeah, seeking adventure, seeking understanding.
He wants to understand.
And what he encounters on these neighboring asteroids is
Oh, it's amazing.
a whirlwind tour of the absurdities of the adult world.
It's a whirlwind tour.
So he visits these tiny planets.
That's right.
Each one representing a different type of grown-up.
Yes.
So you have the king.
The king who rules over no one.
Who rules over no one. The conceited man.
Desperate for admiration.
On a planet with no other inhabitants.
Right.
You have the tippler.
Who drinks to forget the shame of drinking.
It's like Saint-Exupéry is holding up a mirror to human nature, highlighting our obsession with power, with validation, our tendency to avoid our problems.
Right. And as the prince travels from planet to planet, his disillusionment with the grown-up world grows.
He finds it empty.
He does.
Pointless.
Yeah, even a little sad.
Which makes his arrival on Earth even more interesting.
Yeah.
Because at first he finds it just as disappointing.
As
the other planets.
It lacks meaning.
It lacks the meaning that he's searching for.
Right. And right from the start, there's this sense of foreboding.
There is.
He encounters a snake.
Yeah.
Now, remember, snakes are often symbols of transformation or even death.
Yeah.
And this snake hints at its ability to send people back to the earth from whence he came.
Okay, I'm getting chills. It's like right away you get this foreshadowing.
You do.
That things might not end well.
Exactly.
To the little prince.
Right. And then there's that climb up the mountain, searching for answers, but finding only the echo.
Of his own voice.
Of his own voice.
It's so lonely.
Very lonely.
And then just when he thinks he's found something special, he stumbles upon this garden full of roses.
All identical to his own?
Identical to his rose.
Yeah, imagine his heartbreak. He goes from feeling like a prince, the sole owner of this unique treasure, to realizing his rose might not be so special.
Might not be so special after all.
It's a crushing realization.
And this is where his encounter with the fox becomes so important.
The fox.
It's not just about meeting a talking animal.
Yeah, it's about learning a profound lesson.
Right.
About love, connection.
Yeah.
What it truly means to tame.
The fox is the heart of this book.
He is.
I mean, he really opens the prince's eyes to a whole new way of seeing the world.
A whole new
A new way of understanding relationships.
That's right.
What makes them meaningful.
It's not about possession or control, like the king or the businessman.
Or the businessman.
It's about creating a bond that makes someone unique in the world.
And this is where we get that famous line.
Yeah.
What is essential is invisible to the eye.
Oh, mind-blowing.
It completely changes how we perceive value and connection.
It's about seeing beyond the surface.
Yes.
Understanding that true love and friendship aren't about superficial qualities, but about those deep, invisible bonds.
So the little prince has learned about taming and the importance of the unseen.
Yeah, but his journey isn't over.
But his journey's not over yet.
Not at all.
He still has more to see and do on Earth.
He does.
And the people he encounters next offer these contrasting views on what it means to live a meaningful life.
That's right.
So we have the switchman who's diligently sorting these travelers, but has no clue about what they seek.
Right.
Which makes you think, are we all just passengers on a train rushing towards a destination?
Yeah, we don't even understand.
But we don't even understand. And then there's the merchant who's selling these pills that quench thirst.
So focused on efficiency
that
he misses the simple joy
of a nice walk to a spring.
It's a critique of our modern obsession with productivity and instant gratification.
The little prince's preference for a nice leisurely stroll to a spring.
To savor the experience is the opposite of the merchant's frantic pace.
It really is.
It makes you wonder.
It does.
Are we really saving time
if
we're not enjoying the journey?
So we've got these contrasting views on life, these glimpses into human nature and modern society.
Yeah.
But how does it all culminate?
Well, that brings us to a discovery that's both literal
and
deeply symbolic.
Yeah.
The well.
Oh, the well. This is where things take a turn for the profound.
They do. In part 2, we'll delve into the symbolism of the well.
All right.
And we'll explore what it reveals about the little prince's journey and his connection with the narrator.
Stay tuned, folks. The adventure continues. So, last time we left off with the little prince and the narrator, finding that well in the Sahara Desert.
The well.
Like, it's not just about finding water for them to drink.
Yeah.
It's about something.
It's a metaphor for a much deeper thirst.
Right.
That only a connection with another being can satisfy.
It really does seem to crystallize everything he's been learning.
It does.
It's not about possessions or power.
Yeah.
It's about
connection, love.
Love and the shared experience.
The shared experience.
Yeah, like even something as simple as drawing water from a well.
Think about the effort
it
took to draw that water.
Yeah.
The joy they experienced together.
And it transforms that ordinary water into something special.
It does.
And the little prince is the one who really guides the narrator to see this.
He does.
He reminds him to look with the heart.
Look with the heart.
Oh, that line gets me every time.
Powerful message. Powerful message.
And the most important things are invisible to the eye.
It's like that echoes what the fox was saying.
It does, doesn't it?
The essential being unseen.
Yes, and it's through these encounters and these lessons that the narrator starts to shed his grown-up cynicism and reconnect with that childlike.
Yeah, their childlike sense of wonder.
Sense of wonder.
And the little prince almost becomes a catalyst.
He does.
For the narrator's own personal transformation.
Absolutely.
He's leading him back to the magic.
To the magic he'd forgotten.
There's almost a mystical quality to the little prince's presence.
There is.
He seems to possess this wisdom that goes beyond his years.
There are many interpretations of who or what the little prince represents.
Yeah, like, what do you think? Some see him as a symbol of the soul.
Okay.
On a journey to find its true home.
Interesting.
Others view him as pure, uncorrupted innocence.
Yeah.
A reminder of the child within us all.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's like he's saying, hey.
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
Hold on to that sense of curiosity.
Yeah.
The openness to new experiences.
That resonates with so many people.
It does. It's a universal theme.
It is.
The yearning for connection.
Right.
The search for meaning. The struggle to hold on to our innocence.
Yeah.
In a world that often feels harsh and disillusioning.
And it's through his journey.
It is.
His encounters with all these different characters.
These strange and wonderful characters.
That Saint-Exupéry is able to really explore these themes. I mean, each character, each planet is like a reflection, a different aspect of human nature.
Different aspect of human nature.
King, obsessed with power.
The businessman, preoccupied with numbers.
The conceited man, just desperate.
Desperate for admiration.
For admiration.
And through these satirical portrayals, he is critiquing a society that often prioritizes
the superficial over the meaningful.
Over the meaningful.
And the little prince's values.
Yes.
Love, friendship, kindness.
Kindness. Sense of wonder.
The sense of wonder.
Yeah, they stand in stark contrast.
Yeah, they really
to the values of the adult world.
Yeah, it's almost a commentary on what we as a society deem important.
Right. Have we lost sight?
Have we?
Of what truly matters?
I mean, have we become so focused on achieving and accumulating
and controlling
that we've forgotten the simple joys
of connection.
Experiencing the world with open hearts.
That's the question.
That is the question.
The book poses.
And in our world today...
Yeah, our fast-paced,
technology-driven world.
Technology-driven.
It's easy to lose sight.
It's easy to get caught up in the hustle.
Yeah.
To lose sight of the beauty.
And that's why stories like this are so important.
They are.
They remind us.
To slow down.
To slow down.
To look up. To appreciate the simple things.
The simple things.
And to remember what's truly essential.
And as the little prince's time comes to a close, we see how much he's changed the narrator.
We do. The narrator has undergone a transformation, a reawakening.
Yeah, he's rediscovered.
The importance of imagination. The value of human connection.
Yes.
And the beauty of seeing the world with childlike wonder.
He's not that cynical, disillusioned pilot.
No, not anymore.
That he was at the beginning of the story.
He's learned to look with the heart.
Look with the heart.
And that lesson will stay with him.
It will.
Long after.
Long after the little prince is gone.
And that brings us...
Which brings us...
to the most poignant...
to the end.
And perhaps most debated part of the story.
The ending.
The ending.
It is heartbreaking, but hopeful.
It's full of mystery.
Mystery and symbolism.
And it stays with you.
It does.
Long after you finish the book.
It's an ending that demands to be discussed.
It does.
Dissected.
And pondered.
In part 3, we'll unpack the symbolism, the emotions, and the lingering questions of the little prince's departure.
Be with us.
We'll explore the deeper meanings of this timeless tale and what it reveals about the human experience.
I don't know about you, but I'm still kind of processing the ending of The Little Prince.
I know, right? It's
a lot to take in.
It really is. It's definitely not your typical happily ever after.
No. And we know he's desperate to go back to his planet, to his rose.
Right.
But his body's just too heavy.
Too heavy.
To make that journey.
Yeah.
And so the snake comes back into the picture.
The snake?
Remember that earlier?
It was kind of a chilling encounter.
Yeah, shrouded in symbolism.
Yeah.
Danger, transformation, even death.
Yeah.
It's one who suggests that it can send him back to the earth from whence he came.
Right. And I mean, even the fact that he chooses to meet the snake on the anniversary of his arrival on Earth. It almost feels like fate.
It does feel like fate.
Like it was meant to be.
Yeah.
And he even asks the snake, will this hurt?
Will it make you suffer?
And there's this unsettling shift in his demeanor.
There is.
Like that laughter, which was so joyful before. Now it's just
tinged with acceptance.
Yes.
Resignation.
And then the way he falls.
I know.
So silently, as gently as a tree falls.
It's beautiful, but so sad.
And of course, the narrator can't find his body. It adds to the mystery, right?
It does.
Did he transcend to another realm?
Did he return to his planet?
I mean, it's just left completely...
I think Saint-Exupéry did that deliberately. It leaves it...
open to interpretation.
Open to interpretation.
I think he's saying, here's the story, but you decide what it means.
You decide the fate of the little prince.
And then there's this lingering guilt from the narrator because he forgot.
The leather strap for the muzzle.
Oh, that little detail.
Small thing.
But it's so powerful.
Yeah.
He realizes that the sheep could have eaten the rose.
Oh, it's heartbreaking.
I know.
Did he make that sacrifice in vain?
And again, it's just...
But more questions.
More questions, but I think that's what makes this story so brilliant.
I agree.
It really gets you thinking.
Yeah, to contemplate what matters.
Yeah.
To grapple with the mysteries of the universe.
And in the midst of all this ambiguity, there's still hope.
Hope and connection.
Yeah, like the narrator finds comfort.
Yes.
When he looks at the stars.
And he hears...
He hears the little prince's laughter.
500 million little bells.
That image is so beautiful.
It's like the little prince is gone.
Yeah.
But his spirit, his laughter.
His impact continues.
So I guess as we wrap up our deep dive here on The Little Prince, I'm just grateful for this deceptively simple story that manages to be so complex.
Yeah, it reminds us to be curious, to cherish connection.
Yeah, to be present.
Yeah, to be present, to find beauty.
In the simple things.
And to never stop asking questions.
And on that note, we'll leave you with one last thought from the fox. What is essential is invisible to the eye.
Beautiful.
Go out there, look with your hearts, and keep searching for the magic.